These.
Whoever we vote, right, council votes, we vote that person, they do like an interview.
Bang your gavel there.
Yeah. All right, everybody, it's 6 o'clock. We're gonna call the Buckley City Council meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands. Liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. Roll call.
Smith,
Here.
Rose. Here. Burbank. Here. Green.
Here.
Arsano.
Here.
Anderson. Here.
Do we have any additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda tonight?
Yes.
Okay,
I would,
Lynn?
I would like to have the, on public hearings, have the number B, transportation impact fees be addressed first instead of reverse the order was to.
Okay, so moving the transportation impact fee public hearing ahead of the Jefferson Street vacation.
Thank you.
Okay. A second,
Second.
all in favor,
Right.
all opposed? Thank you, council. Right. We've got some bad or sad news this evening for those of you that may not have heard yet. Council member Sundstrom passed away last week, late last week. And I've got a brief little statement from his family and then something from us. We first would like to thank everyone for their thoughts. Marvin always felt you should try to do something for the community you live in. He enjoyed trying to help the people of Buckley and appreciated the support from the residents. He was very passionate about his council position and hopefully he has made a difference, which he has. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family during this time, and I know I speak for all of us when I say he will be missed. From my perspective, I would like to share it was clear that Councilmember Sundstrom was a dedicated servant to his community. I don't know the exact number of years, but I know Marvin was a resident here for decades and with nearly perfect attendance on council. He served at least 2 terms, almost 2 full terms with nearly perfect attendance. He was very passionate about fiscal responsibility and transparency, as we all know. During his time on council, he spoke often of the multiple committees he served on while working for the Boeing Company and various mining organizations after college, et cetera, that helped share policy, help shape policy around the region. Prior to that, he also served in the armed forces. In honor of Council Member Sundstrom, we ask you all to join us in a moment of silence. Thank you, everyone. Public comments. Does anybody like to speak that is not here to speak on the Jefferson Street vacation or the transportation impact fees for the downtown district? We'll have two sections to speak in the beginning and the end, and we'll also have 2 hearings, the public hearings where everybody can speak, that signed up, or I'll go around the room if anybody didn't have a chance to sign up. But would anybody like to speak on anything other than those 2 items at the beginning? And if there's something that triggers something through the council meeting, we'll have another one at the end. Oh, Connie, please.
My name's Connie Bender and I live at 19. Where do I live? Ryan Road. Anyway, I was looking at on our consent agenda, on C, change order for restroom site prep and utilities.
Mhm.
I read it 4 times. Never could figure it out. It is, I finally got it figured out after a while, but it's the way it's written. Instead of just saying there's a change order for $43,000, they've now added that down to the 2 million something. So it now looks like they're gonna be paying 2 million and something out. So it's not real clear. Now, whoever's on the committees, they understand it. But the public itself reading it is not going to understand it. So if you guys could discuss it a little bit and let us know actually what it does say and what it's about, it would be greatly appreciated.
All right, thank you. Hey, anyone else before we move on to committee reports? Okay. All right, admin, finance and public safety, Councilmember Smith.
Admin, Finance and Public Safety met yesterday for the first time in several months due to differing situations. Administration, the part-time admin assistant position has been advertised. Finance 1 assistant, meter reader, senior planner, and seasonal positions, there's usually between 5 and 6. For Parks and Rec will be advertised soon. I really like the fact that we're going to get those seasonals out there because there's a lot of work to do and there's a lot of people that have benefited from being a seasonal at Parks and Rec. And there's somebody sitting in the front row over here that is now a director. It's a program that is needed, but it is beneficial for a number of reasons. Special events, really surprised that there's only been 1 app received for Hometown Market. And there's some work to do on that coming forward, but I imagine we'll get some more of these. Finance update, we're going through the 2019 to 2021 audit. Basically, we're on hold right now, dealing with some issues with the state as they do their thing, and more updates to come. ARPA funds, as was discussed previously, the nonprofit grant program that the council has gone over will be posted soon for their applications. Public Safety Chief Alfano advised that they're creating a civil service list for both entry-level applicants and lateral entry applicants for the police department. And they have oral boards coming up on the 25th and 26th of the month. Fire department is trying to fill the full-time firefighter spot. They are going through their background checks on 2 applicants that have been deemed to be finalists. And they are anticipating a conditional offer in 1 or 2 weeks, 1 to 2 weeks rather, with a tentative start date of the 1st of June. They have ordered a replacement. Council has authorized this expenditure, their replacement pickup. And it's expected to be delivered in 3 to 4 months. They have the administration, along with the fire chief, has negotiated a contract renewal with the state of Washington for Rainier School. Will be coming forth soon. And lastly, the municipal court, which holds court right here. Business done in other parts of this building, had 2 security incidents recently. And as such, there are security upgrades being contemplated to mitigate what has happened recently. I passed one out to everybody for your perusal.
Perfect. Thank you, Ron. Community services.
Yes, so this was passed around last week at the study session, so I did not bring any copies tonight, but we met on May 1st. And we had a presentation from the Buckley Downtown Association, which discussed some upcoming events, like the markets and some cruises coming up. That'll be a lot of fun. And also they highlighted that they will not be funded beginning in July, and it'll be a volunteer-based organization come that time. But they're still motivated and ready to get some stuff going. Parks and Rec. So year to date, there's been about 1,400 youth check-ins at the youth center. So that's an incredible number. Youth violence prevention grant was applied for the 2024 cycle at $60,000. The award notification would be expected in September. There's also 2 new grants that they've applied for: the Education Connection, which is tutoring services, and the Community Prevention Capacity Grant. Senior Center program update. Meals served so far is approximately 4,500, so incredible number there. And senior check-ins about 5,300. So a lot going on. The multi-sport court and swing set update. So the court has been painted, but one minor incident: the pickleball lines of all things, were put in the wrong place. And has that been corrected, or is that they're still working on that, right?
End of this week.
End of this week. Okay, end of this week, the pickleball lines, rest assured, will be where pickleball lines should belong. Then there'll be a ribbon cutting, and so it'll be exciting. Swing set at Wally's will be completed after the log show. And building and planning, so consultants are being hired, working with SCJ Alliance. I know we have a vote tonight about framework. There is pretty skeleton crew over there, the planning department, with Devon Boiler retiring from the planning department, and then Lindsay took an active duty position on the base. So that department's going to be really staffed by Emily for some time now. So having those consultants is going to be a big help. Currently, long range planning is on hold. They need to focus on the housing action plan, so Emily can put her attention there. And that's it.
Thanks, Brandon. Council member comments and go to the order. Member Smith.
I would just like to say that the fact that Councilmember Sundstrom was passed, may he be out of his earthly pain, but he did do right the way he did it by the community. I didn't always agree with it, but we are all elected by this community to do community's work, and he ran for several spots, did not succeed on one, but he served this community, and I am very thankful for that. And I'm thankful that he was one of our colleagues that we all didn't get along with all the time, or didn't agree with. That's neither here nor there. He stepped up, and it's not just here. He was elected as a
School board.
Tahoma school board member before, so he's had a passion for service on behalf of whatever place he was at. And so I just want to say, I don't see any family members here, but God rest your soul, Councilmember Sundstrom, and my condolences to your family in this time of loss.
Thank you, Ron. Anybody else? Any other council comments? Go to the order. Any that Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, just to again, kind of piggyback what Councilmember Smith's saying. I only knew Councilmember Sundstrom for a couple of years while I was on the council, but I mean, I've never seen someone who's more bold, coming in here knowing that he has his convictions, and the thing things that he wants to do that he feels are right for the community, and knowing that he might face some opposition, but he came back week after week and did it. He really had a commitment to this community, and I learned a lot from him, and I think we all take note of that conviction, and that boldness and that commitment to the community. And I'll miss having him on the team. I really will.
Absolutely. Thank you. Indeed, definitely a loss for the community and of course for his family as well. 93-ish. Never was certain on the number, but 92. Okay. Yeah, I'll share just super briefly. I shared with Marvin one evening after we had a hearty disagreement about something. I told him outside, I said, Marvin, I hope when I'm 90 plus years old that I have the piss and vinegar you have with yourself but I hope I have something better to do. And he enjoyed that very much. So great man. And he will be missed for sure. All right. Let's see. We will move on to the consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I'll throw out a no because Marvin never voted once for the consent agendas. All right, thank you, council. Regular agenda, we are going to swap those two things. So we're going to start and it is 6:17. I'm going to adjourn the council meeting for public hearing regarding the transportation impact fees for the downtown design district at 6:17. All right, we're entering the public hearing. I'm going to have Director Terrell come up and make a presentation. Oh, and just a little reminder for council and public, the council will be engaged in listening into all the public comment, but there'll be no back and forth. So. Hi, Emily.
I miss Marvin too. So this has come before you as a proposal and then as a study session agenda item. So I'm going to explain it mostly for the public. We have transportation impact fees that are based on the number of trips that are created by various uses in town. We've been spending a lot of time trying to figure out how we could improve economic development, and especially in the downtown area. We took a look at whether we had charged those transportation impact fees in the downtown area, and we really haven't in the last 10 years. But there are certain businesses that create quite a lot of trips, like restaurants and drinking establishments and other kinds of things that I think have been maybe hesitant to come here because that's a huge fee for permitting. We saw two low-hanging fruit: parking. We have lots of parking, and transportation impact fees. So the proposal is to essentially mirror a pass-by trip in that certain types of transportation trips we're allowed to consider as a pass-by. I'm driving along and I need to gas. I stop at a gas station and keep going. That's a pass-by. It wasn't a destination. And we have a bunch of different items that are types of uses. Sorry, I really could use more dinner. A bunch of different types of uses that we have decided as a community we would like to support. They include eating establishments and other kinds of things. So when we looked at how we could improve the downtown and allow for more of those types of uses and remove that fee, we looked at what are the types of businesses we already encourage. So what this ordinance in front of you would do is reduce or eliminate traffic impact fees in this downtown area for uses that the council has previously decided would be very beneficial to be here. Essentially, that's all.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, I know I've got at least 3 people signed up and we'll start with them and then see if there's anybody else that would like to speak. I've got Connie Bender, if you'd like to speak, well, 3 minutes and all that jazz. And then Shayla will be next. Shyla. and Lorna. I got that right. Okay.
Okay. Connie Bender, live at 1915 Ryan Road. I remember where I lived this time. On the vacating, I do not understand why you want to vacate that part of Jefferson.
Oh, we're on the transportation impact.
Oh, did I get put in the wrong one?
Yep, yep. Okay, you got
Okay, well, I
anything?
can do it on that too, and then get back up for the other one.
Okay.
The impact fees have to be fairly distributed. Taking it away from the downtown and just leaving the rest of the businesses in Buckley in the city limits, not getting the same fair shake that the people downtown are. Granted, I know downtown's struggling, but so are the people on the outside. So if you're going to do for one, you need to do for all. And that's all I have to say on that one.
Okay, thank you. Oh, okay, all right, Lorna.
I'm Lorna Anderson. I own Front Porch Quilts on Main Street here. And I just want to say, before you decide to take in consideration, most of the businesses on Main Street are mom and pops. So this would have a huge impact. I think it would turn into a ghost town again.
Okay,
So that's all I have to say.
super, thank you.
Hi, my name is Shyla and I actually own the Bark of the Town Grooming. And kind of what Lorna was saying is that we are just kind of mom and pop shops. And so it's not like we're here making tons and tons of money, especially me, not yet. Hopefully everybody's got dogs. Bring them to me. But anyways, so I'm just kind of would like you to just take into account that, you know, we are kind of just little small local businesses and that we're just trying to make it by just like everybody else. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ron,
Can Shayla come back up?
Lorna.
Or Lorna, because I want to understand
Oh.
what she,
Mhm.
Mrs. Anderson. If I could, I don't want a ghost town down here. When you said that it would revert to a ghost town, what were you referring to?
I was referring to that if you place traffic impact fees on the mom and pops on Main Street, I think a lot of businesses are going to leave.
Yeah,
Thank you. I needed that clarification.
Sure.
perfect, thank you. All right, is there anybody else would like to speak on the traffic impact fees for the downtown corridor? Okay. All right, it is 6:23 and I'm going to close the public hearing and we'll call it same 6:24. I guess we'll open the public hearing for the Jefferson Street vacation. And we'll have, grab my sheet and we'll have a presentation from Administrator Brunel.
I'm going to defer to our city engineer, Don Miller, and Director Banks if they have anything to introduce the street vacation. No. All right, well, tonight we have the public hearing for the street vacation for Jefferson Street. From my understanding, the Jefferson Street area has been closed for quite some time, certainly since I've been here for the last 7 months. This was a consideration that council brought and approved via resolution, and tonight is the date that was set per that resolution for the public hearing to hear from the public on their input.
Okay. All right, Kathy James, if you'd like to speak, or Connie, either or.
Connie Bender, 1915 Ryan Road. Like I started to say before, but I was on the wrong deal. I don't understand why you want to vacate it. It has been closed because of the basketball court. Only reason it's been closed. There's been no accidents. Granted, you don't want to make a left out of there, but I don't want to make a left off of Main. I don't want to make a left off of Park because there's no turn signal. So it's just as safe. Just make it a right-hand turn. Leave it open. A lot of people in this city use it. Especially when the state school's getting out, they go down and round through Main. there's traffic jams trying to get back onto 410. This gives a few people, and it's never been used by a lot of people, but it's still been used and the people still want to use it. And I don't understand why it's being pushed to have it closed. Nobody has actually given a legal or a really good reason to close it. Well, somebody could get hit on the trail. There's more people getting hurt on Main and on Park over the trails than there's ever been on Jefferson. There's no good legal reason to close it. The city has to have a purpose to close it. I have not heard the purpose. And if you look at, oh, no, I missed next to that. Do it on this one. 35A 47020 says that we, as a city, have to go with 35.79, and I looked at 02. One thing I did not see on a notice, you have to have 3 notices someplace where the public can see it. But for a vacation, a like notice in a conspicuous place on the street or alley sought to be vacated. The said notice shall contain a statement that a petition has been filed to vacate the state or alley described in the notice, together with a statement of the time, place fixed for the hearings of the petition. I have not seen one at the street. And this is an RCW. So that should have been done before this hearing was ever held. And like I say, I mean, if somebody could tell me what is the reasoning behind it, I can think of some, but I'm not going to put that out there at a meeting, why it wants to be closed. But there's no real reason to close it. The citizens want to use it. It's perfectly safe. It helps clear up some of the traffic flow, and it's an arterial. Leave it open.
Thanks, Connie. And Kathy, did you want to speak? Yeah.
Mayor, council, good to be here again. With that, along with Connie, I live in Buckley, but I don't have to give you my address, so I'm not going to. The public purpose for closing it is not, I can't find one. The public purposes for any action taken by the city should be in the comprehensive plan. The comprehensive plan shows this as an arterial, a secondary arterial. The code in Title 11 calls this a secondary arterial. There's been no traffic report that shows what the results would be of closure or not closure. Any indication that the 1 or 2 accidents that may occur in this area would go down actually, or increase if it's left open. The reason I was given when I inquired of the city why this was closed was for construction. Well, the construction's apparently done and I want it opened. The code that Connie reported on is in addition to what the council or the council is under in its own municipal code, which requires its own arduous, if I remember correctly, notices and posting. The comp plan, as I said, does not mention this closure. And that's where you would find the public policy, the public purpose. I want to be free to travel on the arterials within this city. I want what's in the comp plan to be effectuated. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Lorna.
So I kind of agree too with what they're saying. I live down here on Monte Vista. So vacating Jefferson gives us only 3 ways to get to this side of town, which is Park, Main, and Ryan. And you've put the road through from the housing development, and I don't know if you noticed, but all those cars are coming down Main because they don't want to deal with Ryan. So I've heard that it's a traffic issue. You come around that corner, you don't know until you come around that corner that it's backed up. And guess what? We're all sitting there waiting to get to the light on Main because we can't turn on Jefferson to alleviate some of the traffic onto. So to me, it just creates more of a traffic problem by backing everybody back up again, because we all want to get to Main Street, because Park and Ryan are not easy access to the town. Second part of that, I heard that it was for a parking lot for the trailhead. So I kind of agree with Connie too. If you put the parking lot down by 169 there, then you've got access for Carbonado, Wilkeson, South Prairie, Ording, Bonnie Lake, Sumner, all of them to come there and park versus right here, which again would cause more traffic. So that's just my thoughts.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yep, thank you. And Gary.
My name's Gary Stock and I live on the west side of town. When they put the basketball court in, they closed the street, and for past few months, I drive by there every day and I thought, okay, they're opening up the basketball court there to take the signs down or whatever and open up that street, because there's 3, like she was saying, there's 3 ways into town. You've got Park and then A Street, which is going to be a mess when there's always a lot of congestion there. There's Main Street, and then there's the mess out there in Ryan Road on that big intersection there. So that kind of really limits you. It forces everybody into those 3 areas and all that traffic, like she was saying, with all of our growth. You've got Jefferson there. I understand that the highway the way people drive now in the evenings, it's hard to make a left turn on when you're heading southbound on Highway 410 onto Jefferson. But if you at least limited that, no left turns or something. But that I feel that that's just an access to this side of town from either west side of town or off the highway. You just really limit people to 3 different roads, and a 4th one leaves access to it, because I think that's just a bad move. I don't know the thinking or reasoning behind shutting that down. If it's because of accidents, that's not going to stop accidents by shutting it down. Or a trailhead for the trail, you can still have a parking lot for the trailhead. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. I hope you guys consider that you look at everything with that, because I'd hate to see that shut down, because we've got 3 roads coming in and that's about it. So thanks.
Yep, thanks, Gary. Okay, and just for a little bit of, as much as we would like to limit the left-hand turns on 410, we don't control the state highway. We could limit turns off of or onto off of Jefferson, but anyway. So anybody else that didn't get a chance? Oh, please. Just if you would state your name and if you're a Buckley resident.
My name's Heather Volmer and I am a Buckley resident. I used to live on Cedar Street, but that was a while back. Now I live down by the outskirts of Buckley. So I'm coming up 410 to bring my kid to school. But the problem is that we have so much development in the area, but we haven't increased the infrastructure whatsoever. So I'm not going to say anything new. You've all heard it. The traffic is getting worse. It would be really nice if I could turn right there to go pick my kid up at the skate park instead of having to go all the way around either way. Or maybe I just want to go to the library, but I don't want to stop and wait at the light. It's easier for me to turn right there and go around that way. It's just creating a bigger traffic issue than it needs to be. And I really don't see the benefit to closing it either. So.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anybody else? Please come ahead.
Yeah, my name's Dave Coy. I live off of Mill Street. I have 2 questions why you're closing Jefferson. Not only for impeding a traffic to relieve on 410, but also emergency response. They're making everybody swing around. Ryan Road is just a that's a mess down by that big intersection. Once your McDonald's is built, that's going to be a lot worse. So I really think you need to double think what you're proposing to do as far as closing this street. I mean, it's a big mistake as far as I'm concerned. And that's about all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. All right. Have anybody else like to speak in the public hearing? All right, it is 6:35 and we'll adjourn the public hearing for the Jefferson right away.
Right, the next item is an ordinance. It will be ordinance number 11-23, amending the 2023 city employee salary scale.
Move to approve ordinance 11-23, amending the 2023 city employee salary schedule. Scale.
Second.
Rather.
Okay. Discussion? Questions, comments from council? No, it's all self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, this will be a roll call vote.
Smith,
Aye.
Burbank,
Yes.
Rose,
Yes.
Green,
Aye.
Arcano,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, staff reports.
I have nothing this evening, Mayor.
Okay,
Thank
do we have anybody? Chris, you got anything? Out there real quick. No. No? Okay, all right. Let's see if I missed anybody. No, okay. All right, we'll have public comments yet again. Free to speak on anything that tickles your fancy for 3 minutes. Okay. Last chance, all right. All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, council.
So, Bo,